All right, well, I won't keep people waiting too long. Thanks everyone for joining us for today's webinar with Hybrid AF. I'm Hannah, managing the toolkit and APN. So if you have written into one of our CrossFit emails, it might have been me behind the messages. So it's nice to put a face to the name, but I have Albert and Philip here, and they will tell you more about Hybrid AF and 24-hour access to gyms. So I'll let you guys go.
All right, well, I'll start. I'm Albert Steed. I'm the founder of Hybrid. Hybrid started back in 2016 prior to unattended access really being something in the functional fitness space. There was a couple affiliates and a couple gyms scattered around the country doing it. I had been doing CrossFit since 2011. I like to tell everybody CrossFit was my gateway fitness drug. It got me into CrossFit, then dabbled in Olympic lifting, figured out that I really wasn't good at Olympic lifting. But that got me into triathlons. It got me into powerlifting, got me into strongman competitions, some jiu-jitsu now. So I really enjoy the space. I enjoyed fitness. My background is all technology. I was the CIO of a software company. The gym I went to got sold. A bunch of weird things happened, not, having to go into that. But basically, I was the one that had the money that could start a gym, and the nerd basically drew the short straw to start a gym. Our gym was a completely foreign concept that we were all a bunch of mature athletes, mostly doing individual programming, some CrossFit classes, or dabbling in a bunch of different, competitions of things we were interested in. So the gym started, it was over a fire. The name, everybody's like, we got to figure out how we can make this gym about going ham. So we basically looked at ham. We decided it was going to be the hybrid athlete mission because everybody was doing a bunch of different things. We had a bunch of military, police, fire, EMS, normal people, all in there chasing different kind of goals. So that was the start of it. And then because it wasn't, necessarily my day job, it was my fun job. We were very liberal on our drop-in policy. So we started out with a key and a lockbox to start with. We moved into a full-on access control system with key cards. I was giving key cards out. I thought they would be cool. So we put like stickers on them, and then started to have other gym owners come in saying, this is really awesome. How can I do this with my gym owners or my gym members in my town? Because they were seeing their Saturdays, their Sundays, their nights and weekends, and they had a lot of people that wanted to go later, but they didn't want to have coach staff in there. So, one thing kind of led to another, and that's where Hybrid was sort of born out of in September of 2016 with my gym and then 2 CrossFits in North Carolina. We started with key cards, and then we all really quickly figured out that gym members lose key cards and they don't like to tell the owner that we've lost key cards. So that was where Hybrid really started to grow and mature and become more of the app-based thing that we do today. And because of my background of technology and running the gym, I really understood that, it wasn't this glamorous lifestyle that you were just pouring through and making money. So we've built a lot of what Hybrid does to ensure that we're taking care of gym owners to the best of our ability, because all of us were either that are a part of Hybrid were gym owners or people that have been heavily involved in the gym business. So that's a little bit about me. And then Philip joined us, I believe, in 2017. He was, I think, gym number 7 to join us. And after a couple of months of being here, he was like, this is awesome. How do I get more involved? So Philip can give you a little bit about his background.
Yeah, thanks, Albert. Yeah, and we're really excited to be here today. Before I jump into a little bit about me, and then we got a really good presentation, there is a chat function. So if you're on your computer and you want to throw in the chat, feel free to throw in any questions. Albert and I will be monitoring it and will help us. So we're happy to kind of make this discussional. We just don't want to be talking at you today. So feel free to do that. But really our intention today is really walk you through. Albert's going to share a little bit about the software and how it integrates, how it works. But then we really want to put some practical use cases to it. So at the end, I'll come back and tell you some stories about how the gym's doing it. And that's really where I jumped in. I saw this with Albert. He shared what they were doing. And as a gym owner myself, my wife and I owned a CrossFit gym. This was a no-brainer for us. We were working on Sundays, doing open gym. We were there on Thanksgiving morning doing turkey wads. And so for us, we were like, hey, how do we do what you are doing in your 6 pilot gyms? How do we bring this app to our facility? And once I saw it, as Albert mentioned, it was a no-brainer for us. I quickly wanted to buy into the company and be a part of what they're doing. So here at Hybrid, the way we kind of do it is think of me at the front face. I work directly with our CrossFit partners through the selling process. I try not to make a mess, and then Albert handles it from there. He grabs you guys on the install, and our team sets you up, and we come out and we do the locks, and everything's turnkey. And so then we try and take care of our partners, and so it's a lot about customer success. My background, again, I owned a CrossFit gym for 10 years, and I've been in IT healthcare sales for over 20, specifically in healthcare. So I really get a lot of what it means to deliver tools to help people stay healthy. So this is just another part that I get excited about. So Albert's going to walk us through a little bit of the mission, the platform, the integrations, the functions. So if you have any questions, throw them in the chat. I'll grab them, and then I'll kind of talk to you about use cases. So thanks again for joining us.
All right. So I kind of gave like our brief introduction, and really our mission was to, part of my background was a road warrior. So when Hybrid started, we had this real utopian vision, and I'll definitely say it was Pollyanna on my part, that we wanted to make this feature that allowed smaller individual gyms to compete on a national, international level. So, you think about some of your large scale competitors, people have the ability to go in and drop in at these facilities at either a discounted or maybe a free rate at a Anytime Fitness and things like that. And some of those places, they serve their needs for people that are interested in those kind of machinery, but that isn't where a lot of people want to be in the functional fitness space. So one of the core things that we've always done in Hybrid was an enhancement to your existing class and your existing culture, because that's one of the questions we always get is this going to mess up the culture of my gym? We have this strong class culture and, maybe some people that are doing individual training, and it really doesn't ever impact that culture. It just enhances it, because you have a bunch of members they love your place, they love the things that you do for them, and now that you're just giving them more access and opportunities as an adult to do things, so that if they do miss a class and they want to make one up, or they've got kids soccer games, or somebody's sick, or whatever the case may be, their schedule changes, like you're allowing them to go in and still reach and meet their goals. So that's really part of the main emphasis of why we wanted to work in this unattended access space. And then the other piece is we ask all of our gyms to offer some amount of a nominal discount, so that, as a member acquisition for travelers, for drop-in people, and Philip has some of that in the use cases, people now that are part of the Hybrid AF network, which is about 75,000 users now, they're looking on the app or on the website saying, oh, well, here's another gym that does the hybrid thing. I'm just going to go drop in there for a class. So it's bringing some additional revenue on that side, and kind of helping build this larger community of, there's a little bit of benefit to you of being in our, facility as opposed to some other facility down the street. So one of our just important things, we've been celebrating milestones since like the 25th gym in 2017. Our big one that we just hit last month actually was hitting 500 active affiliates inside of the program. So that 500 active affiliates is across, I think, 6 or 7 different countries, with the largest country obviously being the US, and then that's followed by Australia, then Canada. And then we've got some smatterings in other places. I mean, we've got gyms in the US almost in all 50 states now. We've got multiple in Hawaii. We've got some in Alaska. So it's been really, really cool just kind of watching that grow and do things. This was another really cool event for us. So, in 2022, you figure we had about 50,000 app members. We had 1 million access events. So 1 million different people, or 1 million times somebody had unlocked a door at their facility to get in and do something. So that was really cool to see, like, our platform and how it was performing and what people were getting out of that. So this is just, something of what the affiliate map looks like, of who's partnering with us. You'll see, New Zealand's down there, Australia, we've got some in Puerto Rico, Hawaii. There's one in Germany. I think the other one's in, I think that's Switzerland there that we just signed up. So, a broad thing that we've found. And the cool thing about that is it really helps us see that pretty much anywhere in the world that our process works, our platform works, and it's easy, and our gym owners stay with us. So the mobile app, and we talk a lot about the mobile app, and the reason for that was back in 2018, we did a lot of work with CrossFit RRG and Affiliate Guard on how to sort of build something that was compliant. When I first launched 24/7 Access in 2016, my original insurance provider only wanted me to have access for 22 hours a day. And they wanted me to have emergency phones all throughout the location and potentially the use of emergency lanyards. And, we had a lot of conversations with the underwriters because, if you're thinking about a machine-based place and you're not doing a lot of free weights, a lanyard can kind of make sense. You're not really, jumping around, you're not doing pull-ups, you're not doing burpees, you're not doing, cleans, snatches, whatever the case may be. You get into the functional fitness world of what we're doing, I don't necessarily want to have something around my neck that's going to get caught on a bar or a barbell or whatever instrument I may be playing with. So we did a lot of work with the underwriters of how to button up this app and make it the best app experience in the gym space for offering unattended access. So you'll see on the app, there's an emergency button. So, if somebody gets hurt, which honestly, you can talk to any gym owner that we do business with, you don't see a lot of injuries inside of this because it's just people are doing things that they're comfortable with. And all of our gyms have rules, and most of those rules are only use implements and do exercises that you're comfortable doing on your own without a spotter if you're doing something. So you're not coming in there and trying to hit one wet squat PRs unattended by yourself, not inside of a power rack. Inside the app, there's the notification section, there's the location access. So, as you're going through, you have to, request access to your gym, or your gym owner has to grant it to you. And then you have to review your waivers rules before you can actually go out and unlock the door. One of the nice things inside of this is all the underwriters understand that you have a working cell phone with or near you to get into the gym. There's no other way to do that unless you have a working cell phone. So that gets a lot of their uncomfort around unattended access to move away.
Hey, Albert,
go ahead.
No, I was going to jump in real quick on that. Go back one more slide. So, one of the things that I hear a lot when I talk to our clients that they love is, and I just want to point out some practicality use cases, an emergency button. We have a lot of female gym owners. My wife predominantly ran our business. She was the one that would go, and she would use the app. When you're using a key, right? Typically your phone's in your bag or in your purse, or you don't really have access to it. And think about, early mornings, 5 a.m., and someone stumbles out of their car or comes around a corner. What's great about our app is, as you see, the emergency is right at a push of a button. If you feel you need to call emergency because there's somebody lurking around your gym, your folks who are going in early mornings, late at night, they have this there now. Their phone is not in their pocket. They're not using a key card, and they're not trying to scram because of an emergency situation. So I always tell people, it's not just about emergency inside the gym, but it's when you're approaching the door to open it. And then the other thing I love to call out here is our ability to provide communication. For me, on one of the platforms we use at our gym for member management, it was very difficult to go find a user and then send them a message about what I needed them to know about the gym. Really, in hybrid, it's simple. You just go to the user's name and you can send a direct message. You can do a full blast out to the whole gym. Hey, tomorrow the gym is not open from 8 till 1. There's a main break in front of the facility. So it's really great practical way for you to use the platform and communicate effectively to your members. So just want to kind of throw that out there.
All right. On the admin side, and I think this is another place that sets us apart, is in 2018, we started integrating with all the major gym management platforms. So I've got a slide later for that. But when you look at the member list, that member list for the vast majority of our gyms is being pulled in from Wodify, Push Press, MindBody, Tribe, one of those other platforms. So unlike doing this as a standalone feature, a key code, something like that, it's all integrated in. So you set up access. If they don't pay their bill, they cancel their membership, whatever happens, that just trickles down to the hybrid app, and they either have or lose access. So, you're not having to do data entry in 2 places. You're not losing track of things. You're not losing track of keys. It just makes the whole process so much more simple and streamlined for a gym owner. When you look at the details, you can see when they sign their waivers, what times they've come in and out of the doors. We have a schedule feature if you want to leave the door unlocked during certain period of times. We also have some pretty unique things that we do on that if you don't want to run a full schedule to make that process a lot easier. And then there's an app disable. So a lot of our gym owners, they don't want to be 24/7. So, it's unattended access. I want to have access, our last class stops at 7 p.m. I want access to turn off at midnight. And then, access starts again tomorrow morning at 5, and then our first class is at 6. So they can kind of tailor how they want the app to work. And again, because of the focus we have on safety, even when the app doesn't work in the normal access control world, if your key card is turned off, there's no breakthrough. In our app, we offer a breakthrough feature so that if somebody doesn't feel safe and they need to get back into the gym, they forgot their bag, there's a way that you can enable them to do that. And they have to tell you the reason why they're going back in. So again, it's us in the mindset of how do we make this the best for not a small business or enterprise customer, but how do we make this best for the gym market of what we're trying to do? And that's the only place that we play is inside the fitness market, because that was where we were passionate about, and that's where we wanted to stay at.
Albert, I want to call out too, you said it, it was such a good point that we're the unattended access app, right? That's how we do it. But that name just doesn't sound as catchy as the Open Gym Network. So to those on the call and listen in the future, we don't dictate that you have to run 24/7, but it doesn't sound really cool to say, hey, we're the almost open, right? And so to Albert's point, we've built a technology that supports your business. We have a gym in New York City that they just can't be open at 2 a.m. Albert always shares the use case of the gym in New Orleans, right? They aren't open overnight because they don't want people coming in after partying and stuff. So we set kind of the opportunity for you guys, right? The pie in the sky, but feel free, have conversations with us. We can share with you business models that work outside of a 24/7 model.
So just a quick overview of the feature. One thing that sets us apart, and Philip actually has said this better than I've ever heard it, but we provide all the hardware and software for this. Now, part of that hardware and software is as long as you're one of our members, you never pay for a service call moving forward again. The only time that you may pay for a service call is your members go in and they take dumbbells and mash your door down. We probably would have to talk about that one because that's not normal wear and tear. But I can't tell you the number of times people have door closers that go bad. They have something gets struck by lightning. It's all those weird little things that happen in a gym owner. And again, our focus as previous gym owners has been keep it simple, one fee. We're not looking to nickel and dime you. So it's unlimited members, it's unlimited access events, and it's a full lifetime warranty as long as you're a customer. So if something breaks, we send out a technician to fix it. So it's one thing off your plate that you're not worried of oh God, I just got struck by lightning. Do I have to file an insurance claim? Do I have to do all these other things? You reach out to our support staff, they send you a new panel. You either swap it out yourself. We send a team back out there, they swap it out for you. So all of that just makes what we do a premium product. As Philip said, when you're going out there buying gym equipment, are you buying the Echo bike or are you buying something off the Walmart, right? If you want something really good in your gym, that's where we position ourselves, and we position it in such a way that it's easy for you. We want this to be so just embedded and streamlined in your process that it's really not even a second thought anymore. It's just hybrid works, and this is how it does it. The other pieces inside of there, so electronic waivers and rules are built into the app. One cool thing we do there is we've done a lot of work, again, with RRG, Affiliate Guard, and other underwriters, where we can give you some example language of how to offer unattended access. We can give you example language on where all of our other 500 facilities over time have said, these are some of the best practice rules that we put into place. So there's a lot of things that we give and provide as part of the process to help make this process easier for you to implement in your location. As Philip said, you've got the push notifications, SMS or emails to your members, the guest passes for non-members. This was a really cool feature we added, and I think he'll talk about it a little bit. So Dan up at CrossFit Breckenridge, he has his process via push press for guest passes completely automated. So people, they sign up on his website, they get a day pass. they either get access via the app or they have an email that they can literally unlock it on their mobile phone using their mobile browser. And he doesn't have to be there to drive additional revenue. And it works right through it. And that's where that discounted drop-ins at other locations come in. Like, people are now looking, and there's 75,000 people now, not just looking for a CrossFit in a town. They're looking at, hey, this one's on my hybrid app. I'm just going to go there now. We've got the native iOS and Android apps. We've got the emergency request buttons, the schedules, and the gym owners group and pieces like that. A lot of our gym owners, will market different events. There's probably 25, 30 gyms in the Raleigh, North Carolina area between Raleigh, Cary, Durham. They do a lot of shared competitions where a lot of their gym members will go, and they use that and leverage that because they all are kind of pushing people to different places to do things. And then we get a little bit of discounts on some things. Part of having 500 gyms is, we've been able to try to negotiate some on y'all's behalf for our gym owners to get them discounts on software platforms, supplements, some gym equipment. So we're always kind of curious and trying to fetter those things out so that we kind of look at it as like a little bit of a buying power. And it's really cool to see the CrossFit APN doing that now too, because they've got all the CrossFit, so they're able to negotiate even better rates and better deals than, what we were trying to do. So it's been really fun to see how the APN's coming in and starting to supplement some of those things that CrossFit wasn't doing in the beginning, and now they're doing, which seems like a really great thing for you all as affiliate owners. On the integration side, so again, this is something we've strove for and spent a lot of time figuring out. So you'll see all the different people that we integrate with, and then each one of those integrations is different. So on our website, there's an integrations page, and it gives you the details of, are we syncing members? On some of them, we're able to send access events back. So we think that's really cool from a holistic standpoint. On some of these platforms, you can see that, Philip's taken 7 classes this month, and he's also done 4 open gym accesses. So you get a much more robust look at health. Stream Fitness, one of the new platforms that came out, they have the hybrid app embedded into their platform. So their members, for the most part, they do everything they need to in Stream. They can unlock the door from Stream and do all those pieces. So very cool things that we're working on with all the different partners, and are always actively looking at how do we add the next partner. And like right now, we have a gym using Shopify of all places for member management. So we're actively looking at, do we build an interface to Shopify? So
hey, Albert,
fun things.
I'm going to jump in there and ask you. I'm going to ask you a question, because I was a gym owner and I asked this question to you because I'm just not that smart when it comes to technology. So can you really just break down the basic integration? So when I think about, right, I'm using a member managed platform. Why is it important for me to integrate? And what actually am I passing back and forth from just a membership syncing? Where's the value there?
So the value for that is, if you think about a system that doesn't talk, when I've got my monthly membership that I'm going to grant hybrid AF access to, or unattended access, if I have that inside of here, I've got, I set up a new user. Now I've got to go log into this access control system, and now I've got to set them up. However, it may be issuing a key card or a PIN or whatever the case may be. PIN's wholeheartedly unsecure because, I can share my 4 digits. I can't really share my cell phone with somebody to access the gym. When you have a membership syncing, and then if you think about, somebody leaves or they don't pay their bill, you'd have to run a report every day or every week and go back into your other system and start turning access back off if that event happens. When you have membership syncing, as soon as you turn somebody on and they've bought their plan, within 15 minutes, they're getting an email from Hybrid saying, hey, you've got access to the app. Go log in here, review the waivers, review the rules. You're ready to go. Is when you get close to the door, when you're in proximity, you can unlock it. If you don't pay your bill, you decide to cancel, whatever that case may be, the member management system is telling Hybrid, turn their access off. When they go try to open the door the next time, they hit the button and says, you don't currently have an active membership, reach out to your gym owner. So, it's a much more real-time, less stressful way, because you're doing all that work in the member management software. Why do you want to have to go out and run reports and put all these other procedures to do it in the second place?
Yeah, that's super helpful. I think that automating the email message even was so critical for a lot of gyms, and even mine, is, hey, I set them up in my member management, and then it delivers and drops automatically the instructions to my user on how to download the apps. I don't have to explain that to them. So thanks for sharing that.
And last, I've drilled this a lot. We are compliant with all major insurance providers. So you got AGuard, Affiliate Guard in Canada. You got the CrossFit Risk Retention Group. We work with obviously a bunch of other insurance providers, underwriters. Typically, we provide an installation and best practices document. If you tell any of these folks that you're doing it with us and you're looking and going through our best practices of how we tell you to implement, there's very rarely ever an insurance increase now. So it's been really cool over the last few years, especially, for any of you that, have talked to Vaughn over at AGuard or some of the guys at Risk Retention Group, some of their initial hesitation with what we were doing in 2017 was they were convinced everybody was going to die. That, you were going to open the gym up unattended and people were just going to be falling out all over the place. And that's when they started calling us in 2018, because they were having more and more of their customers bring this on and they weren't having any issues with anybody getting injured. And then they were like, all right, like what you guys are doing makes sense and this looks good, but let us help you make it better. And that's where that partnership with us from a compliance standpoint is always something we keep in our mind. So all of our features are going through and talking to the insurance platforms of how do we keep this compliant? How do we offer this new functionality out in a way that's not going to put members in danger or our gym owners in danger? And, again, we get to focus on the gym market. We don't have to build something that has to service, 1,000 different masters. We get to basically just focus in on the gym market and be the best that we can be there.
Well, the good news is, Albert, it looks like most people have stuck with us so far. So we'll keep rolling through these. I think it's a great place to transition and think through, like, from the technology, what does that really mean? So let's start here with the member usage. Here's just some stats that we ran, and the story is really simple. You guessed it. Your most times of the day where people are going to use it are really that mid-afternoon, right? You're not seeing a lot of people come in at 2 a.m. And that's always the first question I get. Phil, we just don't want a bunch of people at 2 a.m. working out. What we found, and I found that gyms across the country, when we look at these stats and talk to gym owners, the people who are accessing the gym in those really weird times are probably the people you want there anyway. So let me give you a little reassurance. At my gym, it was typically my nurses, my doctors, my state troopers, my firefighters who were coming in these really, really weird and making up a small percentage of those times and accesses. For the most part, your moms, your dads, your regular workers, if they can't make it to the 9:30 class, they're dropping in at noon or coming back at 6 p.m. or they're coming in between your classes. And that's the value of this. The other part we see, right, is that Sunday. If you look, like, that's the day that we find a lot of people dropping back in. And what are they doing? Like, people are asking, like, well, I don't want them coming in and doing heavy 1-rep max snatches, right, on their own. That's not what they're doing. They're following your culture. They're typically making up a workout. And now they have access on Saturday and Sunday because, hey, they missed Thursday and Friday because they're traveling for work. And so that's where we see this usage, right? These data start telling us a story. What they're telling us is that people want access when they're paying for membership to other days outside of classes. The other thing we found at my gym, which was really interesting, was we track the holidays. We moved away from doing every type of CrossFit workout on a holiday, Memorial Day, July 4th. I know it's great to do Memorial Day Murph. We just moved it to Saturday. And we started giving our coaches a break. We closed down at Christmas and Thanksgiving. But we found in 2021 that coming out of the pandemic, people wanted more access to those holidays because their schedules were shifting. And we found 65 people worked out on Christmas morning, right? And again, they just want to work out their own time, their own place. So reimagine what your gym could look like by giving people access to be able to work out more. And that's going to drive to retention. So we'll drive to the next slide. Here's what I want to walk through today. I'll go through pretty quick, but again, feel free to reach out to Albert or myself. We'd love to talk to you more. But what are some use cases, right? Again, not limited, but here's where we see the use cases really driving. One, we're going to talk through new member acquisition. Two, we're going to talk through how you add additional revenue streams. So not just acquiring a new CrossFit member, but what are those actual revenue streams I can grow inside my business? And then what does it look like for member retention? So when I think about new member acquisition, let me just talk that for a second. At my gym, we ran a stat in 2019. We surveyed every new member that attended our gym and came in and signed up for membership. Every one of them stated, the 19 that joined that year, all stated that they joined because, hey, they found that we offered this unattended access. And so it didn't mean that they wanted to work out on their own. It didn't mean they wanted open gym. But what it did mean for them is that they were looking for a gym that offered more than just a restricted class schedule. And so that was a huge thing. So we acquired 19 new members, right? And if we go back one more time to Albert, to that other slide, the other thing that we think about is additional revenue streams. So what that looked like for my gym and other gyms is now we're also selling add-on memberships. So we had 120 people that were doing group fitness. And when we look at the numbers across the 500 gyms, you can typically plan on about 30% of your current base wanting to do an add-on, right? So if you culturally commit to saying, hey, we're not going to do open gym for free anymore, we're going to close our gym on Sundays and Saturdays when there's not classes, you'll find about 30% of your membership wanting to do an add-on service. And I think Albert mentioned some of those costs, but a lot of people are charging extra $20, $25, $30. I like to tell people it's about 15% of your unlimited membership, and you're adding that on. And so at my gym, again, we had 36 members. They added it on. Open gym memberships, right? There's another revenue stream there. So there's a lot of people in your gym today that for whatever reason, they might have friends or family or spouses that can't attend classes or attend regularly. And so they're just looking for, hey, can we still do CrossFit? Can we still be a part of a community? In fact, I'm gonna be honest. I owned a CrossFit gym. I've been a CrossFit level 1 and level 2 certified coach. At this stage in my life, I am just not wanting to be in a class being told to do one more burpee. It's just not where I'm at, right? Like life is busy. I want to run in and get my workout, but I still want to do CrossFit. I still want to attend my local CrossFit community. I still want to be part of their events. And so maybe an open gym membership makes sense at your gym. And then lastly was custom programming. We found an additional revenue stream because really a unique example was we found in our community, we had a lot of obese population, which is probably the same in your community, right? Let's face it, look at America today. And there's a couple of different articles that was written about the work my wife did. But what we were able to do was sell 12-week programming on top of these open gym memberships. So for example, Albert comes in, he's 300 pounds. Doing toes to bar and burpees is not fun, right, Albert? He doesn't really fit on that assault bike too well. And he struggles to fit into class. And so what we did was we offered him an open gym membership at $99 a month. And then we sold him a 12-week custom programming that was tailored to Albert so he could use the equipment appropriately. Sometimes it lined up with our class workouts and sometimes it didn't. But it allowed Albert to really come in and get that weight off and then eventually move into a class-based setting. And then lastly, member retention. And then we're going to look at some use cases. So member retention was really what we found coming out of the pandemic. A lot of people at that time were thinking about going home and buying barbells or getting dumbbells, or how many of our members bought Pelotons. And so we started thinking like, hey, people are moving away from only group fitness and they're trying other things. And if we don't let them use a facility at the times they want, when they want, doing maybe a workout that they choose, they're likely going to start moving their membership away from our revenue stream. And so we found at our gym that we were able to reduce that member retention from what was historically higher, 10% a year, down to less than 3% of our members turned over when they had this open gym access or unattended access. So let's look at two success stories. One is CrossFit Coordinate. So we'll take a look at that. And I just want to show you, go ahead. Yeah, please jump in.
One other piece that we see from additional revenue streams is a lot of you guys have started moving your pro shop now to unattended anyway. So you have a kiosk there, you have a sign out sheet. So when you think about somebody in there working out at 8 p.m., like your pro shop now is basically open to them. And, you know, every gym over we've talked to, like they say, hey, we've always had a little bit of breakage. We don't have any more breakage because they've got a video camera on it. They trust their members. It's not like a $9 member a month at Planet Fitness. Like, you know and trust these people that are inside of your gym to begin with. You know, they're part of your community. So your pro shop now runs basically whenever you have people in there, because somebody's going to grab a Fit Aid, a bar, a shirt, a whatever. And it's just additional things that are running through your gym because you're given the opportunity for somebody to be in there to be doing things that they want to do.
Yeah, that's a good point. And so at CrossFit Coordinate, I just broke down some numbers here. We don't have to go through it. And Albert and I, this is recorded, so you guys go back and look at the deck, and we can share the deck over with Hannah if you guys want access to it. But here's what we found. We found when we ran these plays, when we used these use cases and ran these motions, here's how we grew that year. You can see almost $100,000 in annual revenue. Where did that come from? One, it came from programming. If you think about programming, 12-week programs we sold to those 13 members at $200 a program. And they repeated that business because, again, they were on a health weight loss journey. We were able to generate almost $10,000. And those of you that write programming, you know that, a lot of it is templates, and you're kind of maybe tailoring some of it for the most part, right? It's a copy and paste, and then it's tailored to Albert. And so you really have a lot of that foundation, and you're missing out on an opportunity to upsell your members. Think about a member today that maybe is doing group fitness, but wants to do a Spartan race or train for a triathlon. I've done triathlons with Albert, and I'm terrible. So I could use some extra coaching and programming to help me get that endurance up. These are opportunities for you to upsell your members that you don't have if you just stick to a CrossFit based only class system. Open gym memberships, right? We got it up to 115. This was no classes. And we had 18 people. And let me just be clear, like, these were great people. A lot of folks ask me, like, well, is it bringing down your culture? You know what most of them were? Over half of these 18 memberships were spouses. Yeah, their spouses, one, financially just couldn't commit to a full membership because they couldn't come enough, or their time restricted them and they really wanted to come to the open gym at like 5 a.m. We now have 7 people at 5 a.m. that work out together in an open gym. So don't discount the ability to grow your gym by open gym. You still got some great people out there. And then again, member retention, I talked about the reduction there. Look at the retention numbers. Just by keeping, right, that 7%, it kept $22,000 in my pocket a year, just by keeping them, right? It's huge numbers when you look at it that way. And then of course, the member acquisition. I was able to grow 19 members for $40,000 annually, year over year, right? And they continue to stay. So great story here that was done at the gym I worked with. And then here's another one. This is CrossFit Clayton. What is really interesting about this is one of the early gym owners that told us, no way, this wouldn't work. We can't do it. This doesn't make sense. They were probably in the top 20 of gyms that ended up coming on board. And they've been a customer ever since. One of the things that I thought was really unique here was he had a large facility, about 10,000 square feet at the time. And he was, again, has all those dark hours. So he ran his 7 classes a day, but most of the day was dark. And we talked about, hey, what other folks in your community really want access to your equipment? And what he was able to do was grow this open gym membership. You see 16 members where he was able to grow. It's grown significantly larger since then. Because what he did was he started reaching out to the powerlifting community and the Olympic weightlifting community. And he started finding people that use the same functional fitness equipment, but they just didn't want to do class-based settings, or they needed more time to get all their lifts and warm-ups in. And so these folks became part of his community, and he was able to monetize it. And so now he's grown that base. And so you'll kind of see these stories here. Again, a 3-year ROI at $56,000. So this was just based on these 2019 results, but he's since doubled his gym and they're thriving, right? They love it. He actually, Albert, I don't know if you know this, but what was so cool was they invested and redid their front doors, because originally they just had this really boring commercial solid door, but the program was so successful that he gutted a garage door, put in double glass, and made a big like hybrid entrance that way, because he was reaching out to this additional population that he wanted people to see it from the road. It's really cool the way he said, hey, I'm gonna invest money back in just the way it looks from the road frontage. So this was CrossFit Clayton, and they were really successful. So let's take a look at the next slide. We have tons of this. I'm gonna throw it out there. I throw this all the time out there. Listen, I promise, like, it's really hard for you to find negative comments about hybrid. And I don't say that because I think that Albert and I and the team, that we do everything perfect. What I think that we've done is, as Albert mentioned earlier on the call, is that we focused on this space, the gym market. And because of that, we've put our customer success first. We know that you guys matter. So Albert and me, we give our cell phones, right? It doesn't typically come to that, to where you got to call us. But on Sunday, I was on the phone with a gym owner, walking them through a simple issue they had, and was able to get it up and running so they could go to start Monday. Like, that's our promise. And so you'll see these. I don't have time to read through them all, but folks are excited about the 24/7, what it's done for their gym from a revenue standpoint, from a community standpoint. You got Emily, who opened in Denver, and this was a vision she had to grow her group fitness business. And so again, go to our Facebook. We encourage you kind of check it out. So what I'd like to do now, so there's a little bit of time left, is kind of, we'll go through the activation process, and then let's have some questions and answers. So if you got some questions, feel free to come off mute, throw it in the chat. But it's really simple. How do you get started? What do you do? Reach out to us. We can give you a price quote really quick. The APN has some information on the discounts and the pricing there. So you can go through the APN. You can click on the link. It'll come to me directly. I'm going to talk with you, walk you through it, give you a quote on your install door. And then once you sign up, you're 4 to 6 weeks from going live. It's really that fast. We'll do all the onboarding through that process. Albert has a great team that's going to help you get all your next steps and documents and those templates. We add you to a private Facebook owners group. Not that you guys need another Facebook owners group, but it's really great because you can search all the questions that have been asked ad nauseum, and you're going to have resources at your fingertips. There's guys like Scott Panchik and Chris Spieler, right? They're all hanging out in this group as well. Graham Holmberg, who's a user in Ohio, right? They love us. And so I don't say those names other than to say, like, there's people that have been doing this a long time that have now put their confidence in hybrid to run their digital access. And that goes back to Albert's point earlier. The gym owners probably on this call and listening to this webinar use Concept 2 rowers and not ZBEX. And you do that for a reason. And so, yeah, you could DIY your own project, but why would you want to do the headache and hassle to deal with it when you have a team like Hybrid behind you to make sure it runs properly and treat your members best? And remember, we're going to warranty that process. So what questions do you have for us?
So real quick, Brad had a question about talking about the hardware. So Brad, the answer to that is hardware is complicated in this world. I tell everybody that there's like an art and a science to what we do. The science is the app. Like, the science is the app works, it unlocks the door, you do waivers, you do rules. When we start talking about installing your door, we've done so many installs across the world that we know what the install rate needs to be. And then even if we lose money on it, like, we take that and just say, look, like, this is what your door looks like. This is what your install price is going to look like. And then we go out and get that done. And that's the art part. The art part is every single door could be different. Some doors we may put the team may put a lock in your door jamb. Other doors, they may put it inside the door itself. We just had the weirdest one ever on an install where they had access rods and they had some other weird stuff going on. So they installed an electric strike in the top of the door that pushed a rod down into the top to hold the door closed. So from a hardware standpoint, like, every single door is different. The good thing is, we're partnered with licensed and bonded teams to get you installed and get you supported all along the way. And so, I mean, that's really the hardware side. Like, the hardware side is all commercial grade, everything that you would put in any secure location, and it meets all fire code. And, we have, things where we have worked with different people, because there are different regulations in different places about, a lot of people just go with maglocks. Maglocks are very simple. They're easy to do, but in our world, they don't fail securely. So if you have a maglock on your door, if your power goes out, the door can potentially come unlocked. There's a lot of fire code around that, sometimes they just want them to auto unlock as you walk to them, which may or may not be the best idea at 2 a.m. if you're looking at a glass door and there's 4 people outside, and as soon as you walk to it, unlocks. So, there's lots of things that we can provide guidance on just based on what we've done with insurance providers to help make sure that you're doing this in the most safe and most secure way. So Brad, hopefully that answers your question. If not, let me know, and you're welcome to follow up if you have anything specific questions you want to know about.
Yeah, Albert, I had another question. Someone asked there in Nova Scotia. So welcome our Canadian friends. We, as Albert mentioned in the map, like, our rural areas, sometimes challenging, absolutely. But we'll do our best to find a local locksmith nearby. Again, if you have a local locksmith that maybe you know of, you can help work that install process. But Albert has done some really remote installs, not personally, but he's organized them in Canada, as well as in New Zealand and Australia. So just call into us and let's talk through where you're based, and we'd be happy to work through that.
Give me a fun enough location, I will go install it myself. I've sent my team from North Carolina out to go do some weird installs. So we're always happy to go take a look at it. Any other questions, comments, anything else you want to know?
Hey guys. You won't be able to come off mute or anything, but you can definitely type them into the chat. We can stick around for a few minutes to see if any come through. And if you think of them later, you can send an email to affiliatetools@crossfit.com. I'll actually put that in here as well. And here's their contact info also. So either way is great, but affiliate tools will be me, and then I can route them to Albert and Philip. You will also get, this is recorded, so if you do want it, we can send that out as well. But yeah, we're here if you need questions at any time. I'm gonna type this out real quick.
Well, Hannah, we appreciate the opportunity to come in and chat, and we hope that we get to meet some of y'all that are here over at the CrossFit Games if you're showing up.
Yes, please come say hi, find the team. Yeah, I'll wait another couple seconds. Seems pretty quiet.
Yep.
So, okay, well, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
I'm sure we will chat soon.
All right.
Bye.
Thanks, Hannah. Bye.